Your eyes, once so bright, never sparkle with the light anymore. Anymore. Still linger in the air, but the dreams you once shared drifted away in the ocean of regret. Did you run too fast? Did you fall on your way? You're a fighter.
Hello, this is Jose Camano from Cuentame, USA. This is the last interview of the year. I think it's December the 12th, the 18th. I don't know. It's the 18th today. So I'll return in January. After I'll probably gain like 20 more pounds by then, and I will probably look totally different. But it's okay. So today we're having a nice, I believe, conversation with a band that I've been following for quite some years, and we're gonna find out what happened, and also what they're gonna do next. So I have two members of the band. I have the singer. Her name is Martina Hallas. I think it's Hallas.
Yes.
Hallas. No,
very good.
the other last name, I'm gonna fuck it up. It's Yates. Yates. Is it Yates? Yates.
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 Right.
That's my full name, but it's fine. You can just go by my short name.
Or we can call her Martina Noyes.
Yeah, that's also good. Yeah,
that's fine. And then we have a Simon. She's on top of me on the other side, the left side. And she's the he's the vocal. She's the guitarist. It's a new addition to the band. So he's a fresh new member, and we got him. I think he's in Switzerland today. And,
exactly.
And I believe Martina is in the Netherlands. So
yes,
we have both of them, and I'm here in the United States, quite some across the ocean. So how are you guys doing? How is everything going with the band, with Rage of Light?
we're doing pretty well, and we're keeping busy, and we're actually working on a lot of stuff right now. So it's a good time to talk about it, because yes, there are a lot
of things going on that
yes,
we don't know about. Most of the followers they don't know yet what they're doing. It's gotta be good, I guess. And so we're gonna. I believe Martina. She was born in Poland, not too long ago, I think.
Let's keep it that way.
Okay. It's a city that I'm gonna make a mess. I'm gonna take the challenge. Is it called Bydgoszcz? Bydgoszcz?
It's called Bydgoszcz.
Bydgoszcz. So, well, I think it's the 8th largest city, and this is called Little Berlin. I think I found out that this
correct.
City is Little Berlin.
Yes,
right?
That's what it used to be called back in the day. I believe around just before the First World War. Yes, we had quite some German
a lot of buildings, right?
Then.
A lot of Gothic. Is there like a Gothic cathedrals and a lot of buildings, like very architectural buildings, right? It's a cultural city. The northern of Poland.
This maybe not as cultural as some bigger cities, like you have Krakow, of course. That's incomparable, but we do have some influences from more Germanic architecture. If you ever want to visit and look around.
Hmm.
And we do have a few very beautiful churches as well,
Right.
with lots of different influences indeed. But
So
it's not a very big city, so it's not like super
So
eventful, I would say.
but it's worth traveling there and taking a look of what's going on. Simon, you're from Switzerland, right?
Exactly, yeah. So I'm living near Zurich,
Mhm.
and I was born in Zug. That's like in the middle of Switzerland, also in the German-speaking part of Switzerland, and it's probably most known for like for the big companies that have their headquarters here to save some taxes. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's what it's probably most known for.
Okay, all right. So that's the Zurich. A lot of people that I know used to live there.
Oh, nice.
From Spain, but most there are immigrants. You know what I'm talking about? So it's a nice country. They got nice Swiss cheese. I love my daughter's always asking for. We
Of
don't have
course.
any Swiss cheese in the refrigerator. I'm like, well, just go and get it. I'm not going. She loves the cheese. So, what can I say? Martina, your father, I found out that was a rock singer, a metal singer during the 80s, right? Your family was very musical, I guess.
Yes.
You were reading music when you were a baby.
That's correct. Yes, I guess I can really say that I got it in my genes, flowing in my genes. Well, not the pants genes, but my genes. You know what I mean. But my dad was indeed a singer back in the 80s, and actually his old band from the 80s is doing a small revival next year. So I'm quite excited about that because finally I will be able to see my dad sing. Obviously, I was too little. Back when he was still a singer, so I don't remember anything. Apparently, I thought it was too loud. So, but yeah, I always grew up with music in my home, and I always thought that I really wanted to be a singer as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. For some reason, your picture was frozen, but I heard you, so it's good enough. Good enough for me. Also, tell me, Martina, you were into. I found out also. I have no idea. You were into a lot of music, progressive metal bands during your youthful years, right? You enjoyed a lot of bands, listening to because. Your father was a rock heavy metal singer, but were you into metal when in your teenage years, or you were listening to a lot of electronic music and other genres of music?
Well, I always liked metal because obviously that was predominantly the music that my parents were listening to, but I also explored on my own, and I ventured into some different genres. So for a while I had a goth phase, and I was really very much into like goth rock, Susie and the Banshees, Sisters of Mercy, and I still do. I still love it. And I also love like electronic music. Indeed, Depeche Mode is one of my favorite bands of all time. So I explored a lot of different things, and I participated in different projects as well from different genres.
Yeah,
but I guess metal always has a special place in my heart.
Right. You liked King Crimson? Is this right?
Yes, I love King Crimson very much. Yeah, I can see.
Right.
Yeah, you have the cover there. That's red, right?
The red, yeah.
Fantastic album.
It's one of my favorite bands. That's what I'm like. Susie and the Banshees, another of my favorite bands.
Yes, yeah.
I saw many concerts of them. So.
I've never seen them live. You see.
Oh yeah,
that's a shame.
In the 80s, I did. So where were you into, Simon? I mean, you were you're younger, right?
I guess we're more or less the same age in Rate of Light, right? I
You
mean,
were in the
I'm
90s.
34.
Was 90s the type of music you were listening to when you were a teen, or
Oh yeah, absolutely.
2000s?
Yeah, yeah. So
More like what, like grunge in the
well,
90s?
not that much. I
Or
was
more like
always
heavy
more
metal, Iron
into
Maiden?
exactly. I was never into grunge or that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Always interested in more, I wouldn't say like technical aspect of the instrument, but grunge was always not
Not your
really
time.
pleasing to me because it's like, yeah, not really. It did not have that vibe.
Right, it wasn't your thing. So what were you listening to more, like Motorhead, Iron Maiden, or
Well, Metallica was always like uh, one of my favorites.
yeah?
So talking about 90s music, and of course, there's other 90s music outside of metal that I'm really enjoying. So like also more like electronic stuff.
Okay. Hmm. So I was going to ask Martina, because she was born in Poland, but she moved, right? You're relocated to Ireland. When did this happen? When did you
Yes.
move to Ireland? Were you still a teenager, or you were a little older than that, in the 20s? When did you move to Ireland? And what was the reason?
Well, I did relocate quite a few times. Actually,
Okay.
I left home quite, well, maybe not super early, but I was, let's just say, freshly turned 20 and already I had a travel bag and I really wanted to leave. So first, actually, I left to Germany and I lived there for a short while. And then I moved to Ireland and I was there for 10 years.
Okay.
So, like many Polish people, I left for work.
Okay.
And Ireland is a great place to live. It's a very, very, very nice people. Very expensive though, so it became
It
quite
is.
expensive. And now I am in the Netherlands. So,
Oh, really? I
yes,
didn't know that it was so expensive to live in Ireland.
it is now. Yes, it's fiercely expensive for renters and also if someone wants to buy. But yes, I was never very much into that. I like to be flexible and keep relocating and moving.
Okay. I was going to ask you, Martina, your first band. You were into many bands when back no, some couple of decades ago. I heard one was called Lady Maggot in 2010, right?
Yes.
And you were with that band for like 4 or 5 years. Is that right? It was.
Lady Maggot was more just like a one album project. It was
Right.
with a friend of mine. He's
Right.
also from Poland, but still lives in Ireland.
Right.
So we recorded an EP, actually an EP and an album. So, and after that, it just didn't really quite go anywhere, and we didn't really pursue it any further. It was never like a proper band, more like a studio project.
Right, because I listened to the album Human Reflection. That was the album that you put out, 2015.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's quite different than from the stuff you did later on. But my question was regarding the other band, Zero Sum, because do they were you at both bands at the same time at some time, or that was different? The time that you were doing where you were with Zero Sum in Ireland, that was after Lady Maggot, or was at the same time?
I think there was some overlap.
Yes,
there was some overlap. I think I joined Zero Sun around 2012, and then Zero Sun later became Ascend Hollow.
Right.
So I was with Ascend Hollow until very recently.
Right.
Yes.
Are you still part of Descend the Hollow? That's another question I had, because you were in with the Rage of Light for sure, but are you still with them with Ascend the Hollow also, or you just departed not long ago?
I just departed actually very recently, just I think last month.
And what about you, Simon? You're still, are you in another band besides Rachel of Light, right? You were
Yes, I have two more bands.
more bands.
So
You're so
one,
busy.
yeah, I would say yeah. But I mean, it's fun, So one band is called Synverse. We're
Right.
doing more kind of progressive metal style, and that's also a band where I write all the songs.
Okay.
And beside that, I have another band which is more like into old school death metal, like raw, in your face. It's called Vorax.
Okay.
And we have also just when was
Bless
it? A
you.
couple of months ago, we released our debut EP. So, and it's also everything is like like analog, old school. So
Oh, that sounds good.
a little bit different than what other death metal bands do nowadays, I would say. Like back to the roots.
That's a cool thing. I was going to ask you, Martina, besides music, I know you do a lot other things. You're a book writer, right? You wrote a book that I know of, at least. You're a blogger.
Yes, I did.
You do a lot of other things. You're the lyricist. Are you now the lyricist for Rage of Light? Because when you joined the band, most of the album Redemption, most of the tracks were already finished, right? So your lyrics are not in any of those songs, or some of them are.
Most of them are my lyrics. Yes.
They are.
So some of this, a few of the songs were written by, the lyrics rather, were written by Jonathan, and that's how actually we like to collaborate in this way. That he writes some of the lyrics, and I also write some of the lyrics, and they're quite similar in a way because we kind of share similar experiences and go through some similar stuff in life.
And then
so on Redemption,
takes a look
I felt like the songs.
Go ahead. I was going to say that then Simon takes a look at the lyrics and says, well, I don't like this. What do you do? Can you change this? No, you don't really have nothing to say on that. You say, oh, it looks great to me. Let's go.
Well, the thing is, to me, it was always more important to have like a good instrumental, and then of course the lyrics are like the icing on the cake, I would say. But it's not like that I'm like picky with lyrics or so. I mean, it have to, of course, fit the song and don't have any, to me at least, not any political or whatever messages in it. And then I'm fine with it.
Oh, okay, all right. So Martina, you have nothing to say about politics in any of your songs.
Well, in Ascend the Hollow, I had quite a few, I think, political statements, but it really depends on the song and on the instrumentals. I really get inspired first by the music before I write. So basically, it depends what kind of vibe the song is giving me. And actually quite often Jonathan already has like a working title for a song, and I often keep that title because it's pretty cool, and try to write something around the title. So actually the majority of songs on Redemption already had a title before I even started writing lyrics for that song.
So the process is you first find out what the song is gonna be about. You get a title first, or you just do like wordless vocals just to find something while you sing you da 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 da, and then something comes. How does the process start with just a title? No, it has to probably more than that.
Well, for me, music and lyrics really go so closely together. I couldn't really write vocal melodies without the words. That doesn't quite work for me. I always, when I work on a song, I always hear already something in my mind, whether it's a phrase or a word or something like that. and I just try to create around that. And a title can always often inspire a bigger theme. So it's just a fun kind of exercise that I found worked really well on Redemption. For instance, Lead the Riot
Right.
was only a working title, but I liked it so much, and I thought it really fits the song that I kind of took the same vibe and tried to build upon it.
I think the first song I heard of your album, Redemption, I think it was Breaking Infinity. I think I saw it on YouTube. That's the first time I saw. Like I said, I was following Rachel Blight, but then when I saw the video, I'm like, am I watching the right band? This is different. And,
Yes.
and then I'm like, oh.
So Breaking Infinity is one of the songs that the lyrics that Jonathan wrote. So these are Jonathan's lyrics, yeah.
Right. So I was surprised. I'm like, I remember Martina. I'm like, Martina Hall, that sounds familiar. But and then I'm like, I got to figure out what's going on. And so that's the first video clip I think I saw. And the album, if we compare it to the previous album, it's heavier, I believe. It's like more energy on this album. There were a big change, I think, between the previous album. You are one of the biggest part, the reason why the band changed, I guess. Simon, you ever wrote any lyrics? Do you ever write songs, or just your thing is just melodies and just music?
Yeah, I absolutely can't write lyrics. It's just I can only write the instrumentals. That's all I can do.
That's a lot of work already for you.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll leave it to the vocalist,
Yeah. Martina, did you take vocal lessons when you were younger? Did you went to a music school?
So
conservatory?
I am quite self-taught, but I did take some lessons, yes. So for a while, I took lessons from an opera singer in my hometown. So I just adore opera singers. They just have such a fantastic presence and vibe and everything. So that was quite lovely. I sang in a choir also for some years.
Okay.
So I suppose my background is pretty classic, I would say.
Was that a religious choir in church?
It was like a church choir, yes. I'm not religious myself, but the choir sang in, we typically would sing in churches and things like that, which from an architectural point of view, it's the perfect place to sing, right? Because of the acoustics.
Of course. I love
yes, and then when I lived in Dublin, I attended the BIM Institute for a year. I studied professional musicianship. So there I studied more contemporary music. But it was only like a short kind of diploma. It wasn't like I don't know, a long kind of study.
So when did you start using growls of your some parts of your singing? You didn't take lessons for that, for guttural sounds and growling and?
Not for growling. No, that was something that I had to explore on my own. So I started when I joined Ascend Hollow and previously called Zero Sound. So that was around 2012, 2013. Mm-hmm. And it's really just a lot of trial and error. And of course, back then, it wasn't like today. There are so many singers who offer some lessons, and we have much more knowledge about also the technique and what's involved and how to do it correctly in a way that won't ruin your voice. But back when I started, it wasn't really common knowledge. So it was just a lot of trial and error. And also... well, I did attempt something back when I still lived in Poland, and one of my bands back then. But I suppose it wasn't as widely accepted then that a woman could make these
Right.
sounds. So back then I came across some resistance, against me
Right.
and me trying to, enter the men's field. That was a big no-no.
Right. Because I said this before. For me, I always enjoy heavy metal and all the different metal genres, but it took me a while for for death metal and growling to go into my ear. At the beginning, it's like takes some. I think it takes some time to get used to it, especially when you never heard it or you never pay attention to it, and then you listen. It's like a little. It's not. It doesn't come easy like a pop music, like you want a top 20 hits. That is like
Yeah.
or made for you to enjoy it like in 2 seconds. It takes some time.
Yeah.
And once you listen
Yeah,
more and more, you get used to it, and then you enjoy
that's
it.
true.
You really love it. That's what happened
That's
to
true.
me.
At the beginning, when I first heard a growling, I actually hated it. I thought it was ridiculous. So it really took me a while to get into it.
I was gonna say because my daughter took her a while. She was like, "Why are they so angry? What are they saying? I don't know what they're saying. They look angry. They look brutal. They look criminals." They were like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, yeah, it takes time for some people. I mean, everybody's different, but that's how it was for me. So I was gonna ask you regarding your you got other things going on because in Ireland there was a festival that I heard, which it was done here before in the United States. What do they call it? Rock for what do they call it? Rock
for choice.
for choice. I think during the 90s, I remember that you were like you promoted it in Ireland this festival, right? At least once. It happened once. I don't know if you did this yearly for quite some time or this is just a one-time thing. Rock for Choice.
Yeah, that was a festival that I organized. I believe it was 2017.
Okay.
It was just before Ireland had a referendum. I'm not sure if you're familiar.
Right. That was a big change in Ireland from
referendum for abortion rights for women.
Right.
Yes. Yes, indeed. So the referendum was in 2018. So I was quite involved in that, and I thought it would be great to organize a festival, a music festival featuring
right.
female-fronted bands, and it was a really nice experience.
Right. I remember that during the 90s they did this in there was very big bands. I remember. I even think Nirvana was part of it. One of the bands. Remember. So.
Yeah, the one I organized in Ireland wasn't that big, but
Right. No, I understand.
I had to borrow the name, because
I think there was there was a band from Poland that
to make a statement.
Yeah. So you have quite some expertise and insight regarding mental illness, right? And addiction, substance abuse, depression. Because I saw some blogs that you wrote online. They're still available. So you were quite into that, right? You were, I don't know, how did you get into all that? Were you, was that one of your symptoms during your teenage years or during the music industry? It has something to do with it? Or because you, like I said, you were quite some expertise in this, and you got a lot of insight, right?
Yes. That's correct. For a while, I contributed to a website called healthyplace.com, and over there, I was the one of the authors of. They have like several blogs that are exploring different topics. So the topic that I was writing about was self-harm. so I did struggle with self-harm and depression as a teenager, and also later on, and I still do to some extent, but I am in a much better place than I used to be. And it's just something that I feel very passionate about, that I think more people should be open about mental health, and it shouldn't be such a taboo. And it's great that it's becoming more accepted, I guess, to talk about. And especially throughout the pandemic, I think many people just became a little bit more open to discussing their vulnerabilities. Maybe more people discovered that they are also prone to maybe suffering a little bit. I mean, the lockdowns and everything had quite an impact on everyone. So I think it's definitely changing for the better. It's not so much of a taboo anymore. Although self-harm still has quite some taboo kind of surrounding it. It's because it's such a, I guess, visible thing. You know, if you're suffering from depression, people don't necessarily see that. It's something that's going on inside you, and many people can really hide it so well, you know. But self-harm can be quite visible also on your skin. So perhaps that's why it's so triggering for many people and so difficult to talk about as well.
There's a lot of musicians that passed away, and the thing is that a lot of people think when they hear somebody, you know, could be anybody, even Taylor Hawkins, anybody, they're like, well, why did they kill themselves? Why did they do? They got all the money they need. They should be happy. They all say the same thing. It's like, oh, they're famous. What else? What? They don't see a reason for that, which makes no sense. But that's what most of people think. You know, these people, they got everything. What do they need? You know?
Yes. You remember probably when Robin Williams committed suicide, and everyone was wondering why. He was such a funny guy, but that's precisely the thing. We just never know how much someone can be suffering inside, and you know what they present with themselves to the public. It all seems like they have everything to live for, and the reality can be so different.
Now I was going to talk about heavy metal and the bands. In particular, regarding the female metal singers, it's quite a theme that for me is because if you can see the metal singers, heavy metal, it could be pop singers too, but because I look more into those metal bands, the female singer, I'm not gonna say they all look similar, but they dress very sexy. Right? We could say they're very provocative. That helps, I guess, the band to have a nice female singer with a nice killer body, and it's an addition to the band. But at the same time, it could be a great singer, but I'm in between. I'm like half and half, thinking it's a great band. The singer is beautiful. She has a great body. She dresses very sexy, but it's like copycats. Like the new bands try to copycat. They said, "Oh, they're doing great. We should do the same thing. We get a nice looking singer, and 20% the band is gonna get better. We're gonna get more fans." Am I right? It's like a hypersexualization of the band. But at the same time, it's a woman's decision to be dressed like that or do this or do the other thing. It's not like forced to do it. But there's so many bands, they show up with the same kind of outfit and the same kind of, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like competition. It's like a competition between bands.
What you mean? Yes. I find that women especially just can never get it right, because it's either if they choose to be kind of physical and express themselves in a more sexual way, then they get a lot of criticism because it's too much, or why don't you just rely on your talent and not on your body, and so on. But if it's the other way around, for instance, I don't really choose to express myself that way, and that also triggers some people because they feel like I should be more,
Right.
sexy or this or that, and so we just can't ever get it right, it seems. And I don't see the same scrutiny, towards male singers. Nobody is ever commenting on, let's say, oh, this new male singer is looking very sexy or something like that. Nobody is.
They could wear a t-shirt. They could just wear a t-shirt and they look cool, right?
Exactly.
If the girl wears just a plain t-shirt, she doesn't look cool.
Yeah, and women in metal are always just compared like it's some kind of pageant, beauty pageant. Like I know, for instance, it's of course totally natural. That's human nature, but I'm constantly being compared to Melissa, let's say, and there's people who leave some nasty comments saying that no, like she's just so ugly, she's not as beautiful as the previous singer or something like that. And,
right.
And I really do wonder, how bizarre is that? Like, can you imagine someone wrote something like that about Bruce Dickinson? Because when he joined Iron Maiden, saying, no, he has a fat arse, what an ugly singer. Nobody would ever say anything like that, because
or Lenny from Motorhead.
People are just focusing on music.
Right, like
and this
or whatever.
is not a beauty pageant, we're here to make metal. I'm not here to. I'm not a model. I just want to make metal. That's all.
Right. What about? What do you think about that? So do you think because in your band you don't have any female singers? Do you
no, but with Sinvers we actually had a female guitar player.
Okay.
So she used to play in Burning Witches. You maybe
know
that band.
Of course, yes.
Exactly. So and that's a whole topic for itself, because they are like an all female metal band. So
80s stuff.
So they kind of put that cliche to the extreme, I would say. But I also think it's not really fair. Like you said, I mean, it would be super strange if you say so now the new drummer, is he really looking better or worse than the one before? No, it's about the playing and the music.
Is he taller and fat? Is he taller?
Nobody cares in the end. It's all about the music, Because I mean, in the end, of course, it's also like a visual message you have as a band while you perform and all that. But that shouldn't be the point. It should be about the music in the end.
Right. I wish it was like that, but it's really hard. It's really hard, right? But it's the same thing for an actress, right? It's you get better parts and better movies if you look this way or the other way. You know how it is. But it's music. When I listen to music, I have my headphones on. I'm not remembering much about how the female singer looks or how the drummer is doing it. I just enjoy music.
Absolutely.
That's it. But that's how it is. When I was younger, I used to listen. It's hard now to listen to a full album nowadays. It's not the same as before. Now, if you want to listen to your album, Redemption, or any your new EP that's going to come up, it's hard. You got your stupid phone, and before you were listening to the whole album, you could listen maybe 2 or 3 times if you enjoyed the album. Now, the phone rings. There's only some distractions, and it's hard. You listen to a song and you skip to a different song, and it's not the same. You don't pay as much attention. Like I believe music has lost a song has lost their value. It's not as worth as it used to be, especially for the record companies. I think, especially and the new bands, they get signed for this record company, and then they just put them in a warehouse and do nothing with them. They don't spend the money to promote them the way they're supposed to, so they just die. So it's hard, even for you guys for touring. I believe right now it's gotta be difficult tour? Because after the pandemic, everything started is being so expensive to tour, right? To even if come to the States, it's even harder right now. So how do you
Yes.
guys think like you're gonna come up, you're working on a new EP, looking in the future, how do you think about touring? Is it gonna be hard for you guys to start moving, start the engine and start going around, or what's your how are your feelings for the next year?
Well, it's of course a very tricky topic, I think, for many bands right now, because yes, the costs are just ridiculous, and the transport alone, I think, doubled or even tripled the transport costs. So
Right.
it's going to be more and more difficult, I think, for bands to be able to tour. At the same time, we would really love to play some concerts.
Okay.
Maybe it will not be an extensive tour, but we are looking at some possibilities to play just a few gigs here, a few gigs there, and see if we can maybe try it this way, just to play a few kind of shows around Europe, as opposed to extensive kind of touring. I don't think touring is very how should I say it, sustainable these days.
Right.
It really costs a lot of money, and I'm not sure if it's even worth it at the moment, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing right now. I don't know. Like when you go touring, and if you have a merch thing going on in the venue, is it true they take you could take up to 30% of your revenue, of your the money you sell?
I mean, I've heard that that's a thing in the States, but in Europe, I'm
Doesn't
not aware
happen?
of that.
Oh.
I don't know. I've never heard that. So
Yeah,
far,
because
so far. I mean,
here in the States, they take a lot of money from your merch.
yeah, that's crazy. I mean,
I was wondering if the same thing happened. Well, could happen. If it happens here, could happen there. I didn't read the book, but I was looking at it. The Rum Rebels.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're very well prepared. I'm impressed.
You wrote it with some Weinstein spirit educator. His name is Renee Van Hoven.
Yes.
It was published this year, right? It was published this year, but it's quite different. I read it's a celebration of music, but it has not much to do with music, right?
No, not at all. It's about a female rum producers, and if I may say so, I think it's a very nice book to read. It's not highly technical, even if someone is not so much into rum or doesn't know much about rum.
Okay.
It's just a collection of very inspirational, very motivational interviews. All the women we have interviewed have something interesting to say, how they got to where they are, why they chose rum, how they struggled with some discrimination in the workplace as well. I think it's a very inspiring book on diversity, I would say. It just shows how everyone can bring different flavors and different points of view to the workplace, and just create great stuff and create great rum.
Sounds like a very interesting book, because I saw it on Amazon. I'm like, I wonder if it's worth it. I guess it is then.
Yes, I highly recommend it. Yes, and if you like rum,
you got to read it, Simon, if you didn't.
Well, so far I did not find the time to do it, but definitely have to catch up. Yeah.
It sounded very interesting to me, but I wasn't sure. I guess I should do that. Maybe I could ask Martina to autograph it.
No problem.
That's a good thing. Another thing that I read, you were involved in a Tellergy project in the United States, with some.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, but that was like 2 years ago, a couple of years ago, right? Black Swallow album. It's called. You were involved in that album. I was going to ask you, how many musicians do they play in that album? Is that like 50 or 40? I don't know. It's a lot of people involved, and you were also part of it. How did they get in touch with you?
Yes, there's a lot of fantastic people involved, and a lot of great names, great musicians. Some of them are my favorite musicians. Andy Larocque, one of my favorite guitarists from King Diamond, for instance, that's one. I
even saw Tony Levin. Tony Levin,
contacted, I think, through Facebook. Yes. Tony Levin, the bass player as well. It's just so many, fantastic musicians, and it really humbles me to be, one of the names among them. It's really fantastic, and I think we got in touch through Facebook or something. I was asked to contribute some harsh vocals on a song called "All Blood Runs Red," and that's the song where I contributed.
It was a cool album. I listened the other day to it. Even has some country blues on it. It seems like when it starts.
Yes, it's very eclectic. Kind of prog, kind of opera, with lots of influences.
A cool album. I really recommend listen to this album, the Teleurgy. I was going to ask you. I also forgot to ask you regarding. Jonathan Pellet, how did he get in touch with you? Because after the other singer, Melissa, left, I guess he was looking for a singer, and you showed up at it. Not the same. They're totally different. How did he? Did you go to an audition, and how he called you? How did this thing go out? How did he call you? Or was like also a Facebook or Instagram deal?
Yes, it was also Facebook. I just saw an ad one day that they were looking for a new singer, and at that time it was during the pandemic. I decided to kind of upscale and start recording myself from home. So I was looking for a new project or a new band, actually. Where I could explore that and just get more creative. I really craved some more creativity then, and I saw this ad that Rage of Light were looking for a new singer, and I thought, well, why not? Maybe they are open to working remotely, because I knew that Rage of Light is based in Switzerland, and I'm based in the Netherlands.
Right.
So I just thought I would reach out and ask and say, look, I'm actually based in a different country than you, but would you be open to working remotely? Now everything is possible, and Jonathan was very open to that, and he sent me a few tracks, and I recorded my vocals, and then very soon after I was already in Switzerland recording vocals for the new album and making videos. So it all it developed really, really quickly.
That sounds cool. How about you, Simon? Because you joined the band this year also. You joined.
I think so. Yeah, Martina. When was it? Actually, I lost.
It was quite recent as well.
Yeah,
I think.
I would say
with Rage of Lights, things go quite quickly always.
Absolutely.
We don't waste any time.
Yeah, I mean, in Switzerland also, so he was closer to you, I guess.
Yeah, it's. I mean, me and Jonathan, we have like, I would say it's like 3 hours by car apart, so it's okay. And it also went more or less the same way. I saw an ad I was browsing through Facebook, I guess, that the Rage of Light is looking for a new guitar player, and then and the funny thing is, I actually already played with supporting Rage of Light in 2019 or so, and somehow I could remember them. I was like, yeah, that was a pretty decent band, but I couldn't really remember how they sounded like. And then I checked out their recent album. I was like, oh, so that's probably something I would really enjoy. And but I also saw that they're working like with with remote. So then I wasn't sure if that's gonna work out, but so far that's that's working out great. And it's
And you
also
know
like a
Martina?
nice.
You know Martina, or you when they call you, you thought did they have a new singer, or you already knew they had a new singer? Do you know?
Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
No, I'm saying when Jonathan called you, did you know that there was a new singer in Rage of Light? Or you already knew that there was a new singer, or you remember the band with the previous singer?
I mean, I remembered the band with the previous singer,
Okay.
but then I checked out the new album because Redemption was just released a couple of months, I would
Right.
say, when Noé left. So so it was like a fresh start for
Okay.
me with Rage of Light. Yeah.
So it was. So what I heard from you guys, you were working on new songs with a new EP. How many songs in the new EP will? I guess will come out next year. Not this at the end of this year. It's impossible. So how many songs you got already prepared for that EP, or are they already finished?
So it's 4 songs. It's
Okay.
more like
Yes.
4.5 because the last one is a pretty long one.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually, we are almost finished with it. I'm the missing link right now because I've been so sick now for the past more than a week. But as soon as I recover, it's my turn to record my vocals, and yes, and then it will be finished.
Okay, so that we're counting on you guys to put out something for next year, something fresh.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And will be like a project like from the 3 of you. I guess there will be no more additions for next year. Hopefully not. Everything will stay together the way it is.
Well,
Yeah,
let's hope,
so.
yeah.
Right? I won't have to worry about who's this guy? Who's the other? No, not what happened? No. So what about you, Simon? What's going on for next year with your other bands, with the other projects?
With Sinverse, we are also working on an EP. It will also be like 4 songs, I would say, and the instrumentals are also more or less finished. But then still the lyrics are still to be written, and but we don't have like an actual release date or so. But we try to release it like, I would say, sometime in summer.
Okay.
Yeah, and with Vorax but we just take it as it is and record it when it's ready. It's not like we don't have like much pressure with this band.
Okay, sounds good. I will keep. I had no idea about your other band, so I'm gonna have to take a look.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. And also, I sent the hub. I was listening to, like I said, a couple of their songs. I have a question regarding. I had a question for you, for Martina only, but you can also be part of this stupid question I'm going to ask. I asked before another female metal singer the same question, so I want to see if she answers exactly the same thing. I'm going to give you the name of 4 pop singers, female singers, and you're gonna tell me the order according to your liking of these 4 singers. See if they match. Just
Okay.
All right. And Simon can participate also.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you 4 names: Taylor Swift, Lana Del Rey, Billie Eilish, and Beyonce. So you're gonna tell me the order of your liking. How do you put those 4 singers?
Okay, so I
Taylor
don't listen
Swift.
to any of them.
Same.
Not really my cup of tea. Uh, However, I would say out of those four, I think Billie Eilish probably does something the most kind of interesting for me.
Okay, so that would be your first.
And then Lana Del Rey, maybe.
Second, okay.
Yes, and then Taylor Swift and Beyonce, just really none of them appeal to me at all. Sorry.
There's a big tie.
So
at
they
the
can
end.
be on the same place.
Wow,
Yeah,
that was very close to what I was expected. I was expecting that. Well, the other the other singer said exactly the same thing, so I guess it goes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Simon, is the same thing for you, I guess. Or not?
I don't know.
Or
It's just I would say probably Taylor Swift won and everything else. Yeah.
Oh, Taylor Swift number one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's different.
Especially the earlier stuff.
Wow.
You know, you always have to go for the old stuff. You know.
Okay, so Taylor Swift will be your first one. Okay, and the second, Lana Del Rey, is that?
After that, I can't really pick an order, honestly.
And you really don't care anymore. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Oh, now I'm gonna ask you, what was the worst thing ever happened to you on stage for both of you? The worst thing, like stomach problems, medical problems, some crazy fan in the public that was giving you a hard time, problems with sound, you forgot the words to a song. What's the worst thing ever?
I think I had a few funny situations. So there was one when just the backing track completely didn't want to work. And it got kind of messed up in the middle of the song. So I just had to continue on as if, it's meant to be that way. Like apparently the trick is if you seem confident on stage and don't look like, you've just made a mistake, then people won't notice. That's the trick.
That's most important.
Under no circumstance can you look angrily at the drummer, for instance, because then everyone knows that you messed up.
Okay.
But also I think once I had to play a concert and it was only a week after my surgery. I had an appendix taken out, so I was feeling just really, really weak, but I had to just push through that. I really didn't want to cancel. So that was quite interesting, just to kind of stay kind of as high energy as I could and not pass out on stage. Yeah.
That had to be a really hard time for you. What about you, Simon? What was the worst thing that happened to you? You were late for the show? No.
No, never. Well, I think I'm just thinking like, well, maybe broken guitar strap. So guitar almost fell on the floor, but that's
nothing major.
Exactly. Or one time I basically flipped my effects pedal like 360 degrees and smashed on the ground. So that sounded interesting as well. But that was more on the funny side. One time when I played with Homophagia, that's like a Swiss death metal band I used to play session guitars. We had Bon Jovi playing on the monitors throughout the whole set because the mixing guy couldn't really turn down the music. So we were like actually listening to Bon Jovi through the whole set over our monitors. That was like, but more on the fun, of course, a bit confusing while playing, but it was, that was fun again. So
that was fun. That was fun. I was going to ask, I almost forgot. There were so many things that I had to you guys ask. I heard, I think your last video is that I saw is the cover of Running Up That Hill from Kate Bush. It's really a cool video. I enjoy the video and enjoy the music. The cover is really good because I'm a Kate Bush fan. So for me, it was a big deal that you guys put out. I don't know.
Cool.
Thank you.
I guess it was Martina's idea, I think. No?
Yeah. Yes, it was. And well, I'm sure the song has been covered hundreds of times. We were not the
Right.
first, and certainly not the last ones to cover the song. And
The cover was great. I
the
really
TV
enjoyed it. It was
series
totally different
Stranger
than
Things
all the
really
other
put that
songs
song
I heard.
again on the top.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, it
Thanks
was
so much.
beautiful.
I've just really always loved this song as well. And Kate Bush is so special, and it was quite a challenge to sing that song. Simply because, well, I didn't want to be the exact copy, but I also wanted
Right.
to do justice to the song and how Kate Bush is phrasing things, and all the emotion that she's putting into every single word. And it really is a difficult song to sing, actually. Like, I think many people don't realize just how much all the intricate little details.
Right.
And Kate Bush also has a very unique voice, so I think it's difficult to just step in
Right.
and cover one of her songs just like that. It really needs some preparation. But I also really just love Stranger Things as a show. I'm a huge
Right.
kind of 80s girl. I always I love whenever a show references some 80s
Right.
as a time period and music. And I thought it was really cool how they just used that song in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys did
I
a
love
great
it.
job. Believe me. Because I was such a big fan. You guys gain a lot of points on my book.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that song. Really did. So I would
Thank you.
suggest to go to YouTube and see the video because it's good. It's a great video. Well, the other videos that I put out are great also. I was going to ask you regarding one of the songs. I guess, which one was it? The one that you were in the mountains. I guess were those the Swiss Alps? I forgot the name of the song.
Is it a ballad?
Yeah, it's the very positive song that you put out. What's that song that you put out?
Is it Beyond?
Yeah, that's right. Beyond.
Singing on top of a mountain.
Yeah, I'm like, well, this wasn't in the Netherlands, right? That was
No.
was the Swiss Alps. Where are you?
It's I think it's called Souchet. Jonathan, don't kill me. I forgot. Jonathan would know. He would tell you immediately. I think it's not far from where he lives, but it's not the Swiss Alps, no. But it's still it was like a 20-minute hike, I think, on the top of a mountain. And actually, funny thing, we were supposed to shoot, I think, 2 days before. We actually did. But suddenly there was this gigantic storm, and we had to go hide in like it was like a restaurant on top of a mountain. So we had to hide away from the storm. And instead of shooting the video, we just had like what is it again? Oh my God, I'm sorry, my head is not working today. the cheese, liquid cheese. What is it?
Okay.
Come on, Simon.
Fondue.
Fondue, of course, fondue. Yes,
Exactly.
we had fantastic fondue. It was so good. Yes, so
yeah,
it was worth it.
was a very positive song. That you guys, I mean, when I listen to your albums, I'm not like going to the beach and enjoying the ocean. It's not the right place to listen to your music. I will never listen to a Rage of Light album in a beach. I don't know. It's especially in your new album. It's not the right place to enjoy the lyrics and the things you talk about. A place like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's probably not really. We don't have many beachy vibes. I don't think so.
You told me you're not much into religion, but I was going to ask you: is there anything that you carry when you go on stage, or like a necklace, or maybe a ring, or something that somebody gave you, or family thing related that you always carry with you, or you're not the type of person that has to have something all the time along with you that you carry? Could be a talisman.
Not really on stage, but whenever I had something important, like an important exam or a job interview or something, I usually tend to have my grandma's ring with me.
Okay.
My grandma sadly passed away when I was 13 years old, and she
Okay.
left that ring to me. So it's very special, and whenever I have some really important event in my life, I always carry it. Yes, but not on stage. I wouldn't want to lose it.
So it's a sentimental thing that you have.
Yes.
What about you, Simon? Do you carry something with you, or you
Not really.
go
Not
in the
really.
studio and say,
I
"Oh,
only
I forgot this little stamp with the Saint cheese." I don't care. Whatever.
No, actually, I just have the things I need and nothing more. It's yeah, pretty basic. Yeah.
Are you into tattoos? Do you have any tattoo,
No.
Simon?
No.
I'm looking at your arms.
Very not metal.
And you have
I
no
have
plans.
tattoos.
You got no plans of adding one to your body. Right now.
No, I don't know. It never appealed to me because maybe I'm like changing views or things all the time. So I wouldn't feel comfortable, like putting something on me that's like
That's going to stay.
permanently. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay, sounds good to me. I know Martina has some, but I don't know. That's about it. But
I don't have any piercings though. Somehow,
yeah,
I don't know why, but I love tattoos, but I just don't like piercings. I never did. I don't know why. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, I'm like, when I look at a metal band, I always look for the ones that have no tattoos.
Oh, really?
Yes, I don't know why. It must be like me, Simon, because I have no tattoos.
Oh, okay.
Myself. And piercings I did a long time ago, and it got to the point that I'm like, I don't want to look like everybody else. So the good thing is not to have them right now. It's the wrong time. Maybe before it was the right time. Now it's not for me. So, as long as it doesn't get too much, I mean, it's fine with me. I like it. But that's one thing that you could see in a lot of metal bands. The more tattoos you have, the greater you look, which I don't know about that, but that's one thing that you see. Like videos, it's a lot of videos of metal bands playing in the forest, right?
Yes.
Forest, yes, forest tends to be
right.
A good one for some metal bands. Yeah, we do have some forests also in our videos.
Right, but that's another thing that is very particular of a lot of metal bands. You don't find them like I say in the ocean, or well, yeah, you could still see some. I don't know, Sabaton, I guess, but. That's one thing, like with we were talking about the singers, female singers, and the forest, and this and that. What I like is music. That's all I like. I enjoy listening. And that's the most important thing, that you enjoy what you listen to, and you enjoy finding out what the song is about and who sings and why did they sing this way and they sing the other way and why did they use these themes and not other themes. It's always a reason. So, I mean, Rage of Light has great lyrics now, I think, and they're gonna keep going with I guess I guess the same style, trance metal. I don't know what they call it now. It's so many genres, and it's like it goes a big tree. It branches out to different styles and electronic and this and that. As long as it's good, that's all it's about, right? Doesn't matter. Could be anything.
Absolutely, yeah.
Of course.
Right. So I really enjoyed talking to Martina and Simon. It was great talking to you guys. And I have to say a 1,000 thanks to Martina because she's sick, and there was no need for her being in this conversation. So she's probably thinking, I gotta go to bed. This guy is.
It was
I got a headache.
lovely talking to you.
Giving me a headache more than what I. So.
No, it was lovely talking to you, and it's really nice that you really got some pieces of information that I think many people don't know.
I was
quite surprising.
Let me say, I wasn't prepared for Simon, but I'll find out maybe next time if you guys agree to a new conversation, if maybe next year or who knows. And
yeah, of course.
Jonathan will be available, and I'll have a more interesting questions for Simon. I gotta find out what he did when he was a teenager, because he doesn't like soccer. Okay.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Soccer. When he was younger, he had to do other things besides watching football games. So I don't know.
Well, I used to do track and field, so
Track and field, because he looks in great shape. Let's say that.
well, thanks.
Strong arms. I mean, now I'm looking at him. He looks great. He has a killer body.
I'll wait to that topic again, right?
So thank you very much, guys. I really enjoyed it. People, anything you want to say at the end of this conversation? Like going to Bandcamp and buying your records. That's a good thing, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And of course,
yes,
check out.
Of course, we do have a Bandcamp page.
Okay.
Yeah, you say so. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well,
Simon first.
Of course.
Where can we find your music? All of it.
You mean from Rage of Light, or
both from the other bands?
We also have a Bandcamp page, and of course on all major streaming platforms. That's for sure. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put those links for both for
Nice.
and Martinez. Yeah, and one for the book, because I got to read it now.
Yes, indeed. We do have a Bandcamp, and yes, check out the book. Of course, I think it's easy reading. I think it's quite interesting. We try to keep it light and interesting. Not too complicated and technical. And you might even want to replicate one of the cocktails, because we have some cocktail recipes.
Oh, really?
Shameless self plug.
Especially for this time of the
But
year.
also do check out our music and our latest videos, of course.
Great videos
on YouTube, and keep an eye out, because keep an eye out, of course, in the next few months, because we will be putting up some new things. Hopefully very soon.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so. I hope to for the band to keep going, and all the best for you guys.
Yeah, all the best to you as well.
And enjoy the holidays, I guess, right?
Yes, you too. And Happy New Year.
Right. Okay, so thank you very much, Simon. Thank you very much, Martina. And we'll see you next year with a new conversation. If somebody shows up, I hope. If not, I'll just make it with my dog. My dog, I'm trying to make him speak. It's taking a hard time. It's being hard, but I'll keep it going. And one day I'll talk to the guy and see what he thinks. So if nobody shows up, I'll talk to him. Thank you very much. See you next year.
Like a ghost without reflection, your face was in the crowd.